Yeah, got to come home, got to be at home, take on App State. Good first game Friday night or Saturday turned out to be Friday night, 8-0 win, and then we had a double header on Sunday because of the rain. On Saturday because of the rain coming on Sunday, and we won the first game 4-0. Got off to a slow start, and it seemed like it carried over in the second game. We ended up losing 5-3. Very disappointed in that effort. Thrilled to get another conference series win. Disappointing with the outcome in game three. Thought Carly Heath was outstanding in game one in the circle. I thought Megan Sherman was outstanding in game two in the circle. And then I thought Heath again was outstanding at the plate, and I thought Piscos was outstanding at the plate with 5 RBIs on the weekend. And then defensively, we had a real good first two games, and then we had a disappointing third game on defense. So kind of a mixed weekend for us, up and down, and just give us a lot of things that we can work on. We stole 12 bases out of 12. I like that, but we didn't get on base as often as we needed to offensively.
When James Madison joined the league, everyone, the talk was, man, what a great softball rivalry this is going to be. And their program has obviously had some unexpected twists and turns. So how do you kind of see this week?
Well, I think it's going to be a really good series. They've won 6 games in a row. So other than Marshall, who's won like 14 in a row, they're the second hottest team in the conference. So I do think they're playing their best ball of the season right now, and then getting to go up there. It's going to be a brand new stadium to us. I think the crowd, the James Madison crowd will be great and excited about hosting the Raging Cajuns, and I think they're going to look at it as a big time matchup. So I think we're going to walk into an atmosphere that'll be somewhat like a playoff game, and so I'm excited about it. I'm not trying to downplay it at all. I think that our kids better get hyped up because I think James Madison will be hyped up, and I think the energy is going to be really good this weekend, and I think it's going to be a hard-fought series.
So you mentioned this week off, not playing any midweek games again. Is that a good thing? It's going to give you a lot of time to think. I mean, how are you going to process all the whatever decisions that you feel like you need to make or not make this week?
Yeah, anytime we lose, I want to get right back on the field. I hate having a loss and having to live with it. It's really hard for me personally. So I wish we had a midweek, but we don't. So we'll just go to war and practice and try to figure out, our best lineup for the weekend and get ready for James Madison. We got a lot of question marks on this team. We got a lot of depth, but we got to lock it down a little bit and tighten it up. And there's question marks at key things like who do we leave at shortstop? If we lock it down to one thing, to one player, who do we want that player to be? That's a key question for us. Catcher, we're lucky we've got Piscos catching really well and Valdez catching well, but we seem like always one of them are banged up. Just goes with the position, so I feel good about that position. We have the depth, but I think the key for us right now is figuring out the shortstop position is what the biggest challenge.
Is Carly, does it hurt you in any of the other things that she does for Carly to play right field?
No, she's done good. It's just that practice time, is limited because she spends so much time in your bullpens out of your 20-hour week, and you're hitting. And then the other concern is the throwing overhand and the throwing underhand. And as she becomes more and more important to our bullpen, you're a little reluctant to have her out there having to throw the ball overhand. So that's the biggest challenge there. As far as her speed's phenomenal. She's 10 for 10 stolen base this year. She can cover the ground in the outfield. She became a much better outfielder. Her reads are much better than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. I feel really confident in her. Defensively, running down the ball, I just don't want to put her in a position where she has to throw overhand, and put more strain on her pitching shoulder.
Staying on the Carly front, can you kind of talk about her offense recently? In the past 6 games, she's scored 11 times. What have you been seeing there?
And she's just a mature player. You know, I think you're seeing the same thing out of her and Megan Shorman. You're seeing fifth-year seniors that are really playing with some confidence and then the maturity of a veteran player. And Carly, we've always known she had a lot of power. So that part of her game's always been there. What you're seeing now is like no strikeouts. She was a high strikeout kid. When we recruited her, she was a low walk, high strikeout kid. Now she's become just the opposite. She's a high walk, low strikeout offensive player. And so the difference is she still hits the home run, she still hits the doubles, but instead of striking out, she'll end up getting a flare single or beat out a ground ball, a slow miss-hit ground ball to shortstop. She's replacing easy outs with really tough outs is what I see in her.
Coach, looking at the numbers, you guys have stolen 50 more bases than your opponents thus far. How much of a weapon can that be?
You know, Maya Davis and Carly Heath and you know, Stormy Kotzelnick, those kids are all, we got a lot of speed on our team at plays, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on the other team. I hope going down through the stretch, you know, it'll become even more of a factor.
What are your other options that you feel comfortable with now that the games are, you know, getting towards the second half in right field?
I definitely want to get I want to get Lainey Crater in the lineup more. Her offense is really good right now, and she's really getting confident right now. So to get her in the lineup, you either have to have Heath in right field or you put Lainey out in the outfield, and that's the main option that I'm looking at, and I think you're going to see. And then defensively, you know, we've got Kramer, Ushtay that can go out there, Caleb Falterman can go out there, or Sam Grader, but offensively, the power game is, I'm wanting to go more towards more power now, the second half of the season. I always like slapping early in the season when defenses are green in February, cold weather. But as you get into April and May, the slapping game gets a little more difficult. You'll see your infields get better. So I'd like to see us pick it up and be able to play more for the long ball in the second half of the season.
Are you pretty pleased with what you've seen defensively in terms of Stormy being an option at third?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with Stormy's defense. I think it's been good. I think she had 2 double plays this weekend. You know, she's that kid that you can put her at second, you can put her at first, you can put her at third, and she's not gonna hurt you any of those places. And her bat is where we got it. I think to get her comfortable offensively, I've got to lock her down in one place. I think moving her around has hurt her a little bit. I'm questioning whether, you know, if I put Langler back at short, would she be more of that offensive player that we saw last year? Would it give her more consistency? So those are some things that we're looking at this week.
So, Maddie, I mean, I know she had the error, but I thought overall she's played well in the infield. What goes into that decision?
Yeah, Maddie's a player she made an error, but you can't. That's not her fault. We put her in at shortstop. She made a couple really, really nice plays, and then she made an error. But the kid gives us everything she's got everywhere we put her. Offensively, I'm concerned. I think she's, you know, struggled this last 15 at bats, and I know if you go back over 2 years against top 25 teams, she leads our team in hitting. I know when we get to elite pitching and when we get to those top 25 games in the regional, super regional, she's a kid that's been consistently good against those teams. I think that, you know, she just reached a point in the season. Maybe she needs a day or two rest. But she's a key figure in our lineup going forward. Defensively, she's a kid we can go anywhere with, but I think we have to decide at this point, where do we want her at? Where's she going to help us the most at?